Reflection.
Life once felt peaceful and slow. Now everything feels rushed and noisy. Back then, you'd just wait. In line. In the car. On the toilet. The space between the next thing and the last thing. Back then, people watched the world in passing, gazed at the floor tiles, counted the seconds.
1, 2, 6, 1, 2.
And now, the second you take a breath or refresh, the world keeps shoving new content at you. It's like the internet is always ready to jump in. It started with a glimmer of light in her eyes, sending micro-suggestions, pulsing like distant signals and awakening her mind, feelings, and imagination. Everything influenced by a prolonged period of private, unexpressed desire. A recipe she'd never try, someone else's holiday memory, a curious detail about lunar tides, a hint of grief, a joke, a glow of something comforting. And she didn't even have to ask for it. It doesn't knock, it just shows up. A thumb flick, a glance, a dopamine trickle. And there you are, somewhere else, everywhere else, but never really here. They call it passive time, those bits of your day left untouched by others. But what if those moments weren't just throwaways? What if they were something special, the calm between the thoughts, the space where the realness pops up? The in-between, totally unfiltered and out of nowhere. But the world doesn't like silence anymore. Too loud, too honest. So now we fill it with headlines, loops, ads presented as smiles. A constant stream of content that feels like choice, but tastes like sedation. This is a story about those moments. The in-between. The small moments that defined us until we let them be taken. And this is the story of someone who noticed. Not all at once, but in a flicker. In the breath before the next scroll. X-Frec Production. Made in Mission District.
Steered into the Neuroverse.
Mara was almost never bored. Her life was so busy that she can't even recall a time when she felt bored. Not the kind of boredom you fake when you're scrolling through curated noise.
OMG, like this is awesome.
Half-heartedly pretending to be engaged. But the real kind, the one that used to come when you were stuck at the vehicle registration or lying on the floor staring at the ceiling, waiting for nothing. So there was no more waiting. The feed was just there, always on. It kicked in as soon as she took a breather.
Wow.
Super smooth, like silk gliding over her mind. It started with these tiny nudges, threads of story.
Feed initialized,
a voice used to say, back when the integration was new. Now there was no voice, just presence. Mara had the standard Class 3 neural port installed to help her cope with the overwhelming pace of life and her anxiety. It was designed to create a sense of curated stillness, where she could enjoy a comforting blend of engagement without the chaos of the outside world. Initially, she found it incredibly helpful, the gentleness of it, how it found its way into the day-to-day of her life and stayed there naturally. It made loneliness easier to ignore, made her commute shorter, made awareness optional. But lately, the content was offbeat, off-topic. The system was pushing junk, unrelated posts that killed the whole vibe. The feed was suddenly someone else's.
Hey!
Memories she'd forgotten, a photo of a street she once walked down as a teenager, a dog that looked like the one her mother had before the accident, songs from a playlist she swore she deleted years ago, and the time. She was losing time. She'd blink and 30 minutes would pass.
Wow.
She'd come out of it with her tea gone cold, fingers tingling, unsure what she'd even seen. It was like the feed was dreaming for her.
You know your life is just a dream, don't you?
She mentioned it once to Lars, her co-worker at the archive center.
Maybe you're just tired. Or maybe you're overthinking it. The feed's always been a little intuitive, right? Like muscle memory for your brain.
Mara nodded, smiled, let it drop. But she knew what she felt. This was being shown, almost as if it's telling her a story. And the scariest part? It felt good.
Yes.
Better than good.
Yeah, boy.
It felt right. Like coming home to a place she didn't remember leaving, but her inner voice, one that had been silent for a while.
Is this still you?
She didn't answer. A memory entered her mind. Her grandfather's garden, the last light on the roses, and she let it take her.
The in-between experiences.
There are experiences no one talks about. The 15 seconds between brushing your teeth and rinsing the sink. Setting down your bag and actually sitting on the couch. The time between riding the elevator and watching the numbers count up. These were the in-betweens Mara started to see. She first noticed it in the work restroom, a small, windowless room where time always felt slower. She sat, phone untouched in her pocket, and let her mind wander. It used to be that she could simply sit in silence, think, and then get back to her tasks. At first, no images or distractions, only a sense of presence. Then a gentle scrolling followed. It felt calming and soothing, not too intense or distracting. A short reel played, showing an elderly man gently holding his granddaughter's hand, followed by a slow-motion shot of waves, a touching quote about impermanence, and finally, a pair of hands releasing a balloon into the sky. She didn't want any of these images, yet they felt strangely right.
Correct.
Designed to mirror your emotional state, the neural port company had claimed, meant not to distract you, but to bring harmony. But lately, Mara couldn't distinguish the direction of influence, only that it felt very personal and strangely tailored to her life. She noticed it again in line at the pharmacy. A video showed a woman gently running her fingers over old paperbacks in a used bookstore. Something Mara hadn't done in years, not since her father died. The video triggered an unexpected memory, the smell of dust, vanilla, and binding glue, the way he used to run his thumb over the spines before choosing. She blinked. Her name was called. The feeling remained like a scent caught in fabric. Later that evening, she took a break. No distractions, just stillness. But then, she went back to the feed. But this time, it waited, not for input, not for a search. It waited for her feeling. And as soon as she started to feel, without naming it, without even knowing what it was, the feed showed images she didn't know she needed. A candle lighting up a dark room, grass moving in the wind, and a child reaching for a swing. It was a mirror, but one that only showed her back what she already felt, before she even knew it herself. Although the digital world can seem real, she understands something important. The screen is only a reflection, not reality. X-Freck Production. Made in Mission District. It started with flickers. Just little things. Sudden confusion, loss of memory, the feeling of something being out of sync. One morning, Mara woke up with the taste of mint tea in her mouth. Problem was, she didn't make tea the night before. She was sure of it. No mug on the nightstand, no kettle boiled, but the taste was there, like breath on glass. The next day, it happened again. She swore she'd already read the article the feed showed her, word for word, but there was no record of it.
Correct.
No bookmark, no history tag. And when she tried to remember where she'd seen it, her mind gave her only static. A single, blank space where context should have been. The flickers came slowly at first, just enough to make her doubt her attention span. She told herself she was tired, distracted, maybe even getting sick. But deep down, something else was happening, and time was going by slowly. At the Archive Center, Mara worked in a dim, cooled room. She liked it there, the silence, the slowness. That day, she was logging an old data drive from the early 2030s, a digital diary from someone who lived before neural feeds, back when content had to be actively chosen. Her port powered up, ready to sync, but she stopped it. She reached to her ear and tapped the outer node once to stop the feed, a rare thing to do. For a breath, there was awareness. No gentle suggestions, no mood sync, just her. And in that space, she remembered a conversation she didn't recall having. Lars.
Do you ever wonder what we're missing?
What do you mean?
The times we used to sit with ourselves.
But that conversation had never happened.
What?
Not that she could prove, anyway. Not that Lars remembered. When she asked him about it later that week, he gave her a puzzled look and laughed it off.
I mean, yeah, sounds like something I'd say, but nah, don't think we've had that one.
Mara let it go. Things were being rewritten, or worse, subtly added in. It was clever, perfect, memories that felt right in tone and feeling, but not in timing. And the scariest part? They felt just as real as everything else, maybe even closer to reality, like dreams you wake up from with tears on your face. That night, she tried something different. She didn't reach for the feed. She didn't let her mind wander. She stayed present, breathing, awake, and into that silence she remembered, not from childhood, not from work, but from somewhere else. The wind brushed her hands. The sky was pale and infinite. When she looked over, someone was next to her. She didn't know who it was, but they felt familiar. They didn't talk, just in presence. Then the memory ended, before she could understand why it felt realer than her whole life. X-Freck production. Made in Mission District.